Do we have any other questions?
What's your take on the traffic cameras and RoboCop?
Traffic cameras and RoboCop. I'm not a judge, so I can't declare the constitutionality of it. That's the judge's job. I don't think that they are strictly there for a revenue purpose. Now, I do think they serve a revenue purpose, but I don't think that's the sole purpose of it. If we go back and look at the crimes and the deaths, that were at those intersections, they've decreased. So while I think revenue is a perk of it, I don't think it's the sole purpose of having the cameras there.
Well, I mean, let me take it one step further.
Right.
We don't just have the cameras at the intersections, though. We have the roving RoboCop.
I just paid a ticket 2 weeks ago for that roving RoboCop. I didn't see it.
And I went through last week and did a search on this. You don't have an opportunity to face your accuser. They don't have a picture of you going through. I just finished a project out in Goodyear, Arizona. And the fun that the kids have out there is they take an individual that they don't like within the community. They find one of their buddies that's got a car that's just like his. They take a photostatic copy of his license plate and put it on there and go run the red lights backwards and forwards.
What now?
So there is no way. Right. You supposedly have a police officer that looks at these to see if they in fact ran the red light, but they cannot ascertain who was responsible for that crime.
I was listening to 101.5 today, and I think it was Dan Reeves, or maybe Bill, I can't remember which one it was. And they said, you have a chance to challenge your accuser. And I don't know, has anyone ever tried that in court? Can they roll that camera in, or can they?
Well, I asked Chief Kendrick about it. He said the problem is that in Tennessee, in some states, I think Michigan, Wisconsin, some other places, it's a criminal charge. Here, it's a civil charge, and you don't have to have your accuser present.
So constitution-wise, the state of Tennessee says that you have a right to face your accuser if you're fined. What we find here is that someone in Arizona and then Australia is picking up the lion's share of this money. And the other thing that I'm real concerned with, I would say 80% of every bit of the intel that is generated in the city by its police officers within traffic stops. What we've got now is a revenue generating situation where they don't feel the impetus to go out here and pull people over anymore because they're getting enough money from the flashes going off. I could almost see monitoring the intersections. I can see where that may, of course I've read studies on this that say you wind up with more people getting hurt for the simple fact that everybody wants to get their first ticket, they start throwing the brakes on. People from out of town don't know it, they run in the back end. You have less fatalities, you have more wrecks. So I'm concerned in the fact though that it's not constitutional, and I believe that everything that drives our citizens and our government, you are our legislators elected by the people for the city. That's what you are as a city councilman, as a legislator. You are charged by the Tennessee Constitution with upholding that Constitution in everything that you do. And to allow it to lapse because someone thinks that they need to generate some more revenue, I have a real hard time with that. And that needs to be looked at. We see several states that have said, no, it's not constitutional.
Right. And going back to the traffic, so that's one thing we have done in our neighborhood is charge our police officers. When we had the break-ins going around Christmas time, we went to the police department and they patrolled and they pulled people over and they made arrests because of those stops. Now, I mean, I do totally agree with you that arrests come from traffic stops, and we've seen that in our neighborhood alone.
So I'm concerned that what they do is they get kind of fat and lazy and the dollars are rolling in from these cameras, especially the ones that they move around and set up. I mean, we've seen in the last couple of weeks this guy that's out there with signs out. He's going, RoboCop up the street.
He was in the Mardi Gras parade Tuesday also.
All right, any other questions, folks?
You mentioned about taxes. There was a particular thing that came before the council as animal control ordinance that would have involved, I think, like a $50 a year fee or something for your animal. I mean, where would you be on something like that?
Now you're going to the $50 fee for not having spay or neutered. You can have the animal, you have to pay for it. You went. Frank, you had to be more clear on this than I am.
You answer your own questions.
I'm trying to bring you into it. You had a certain number of animals. After every animal, you were fined for that animal, and if you didn't spay or neuter your animals, you had to pay the breeder's license for it. Now, I was totally against having to pay a breeder's license to spay or neuter your animals. I'm totally against having a certain number of animals having to pay for them. I believe if you can humanely keep them, and you have your dogs. One of my dogs isn't neutered. He has never gotten out of the fence. He's never gotten off his leash. He's never bred at all. So I don't think that I have to pay $150 because I don't want to do it to my dog. I don't think that if you have 12 cats and the limit's 11 and you humanely keep them, you should have to pay to keep them.
I think the question might be more in tune with, if you're given a package, you're given it completely. It's not something that you can pick and choose sometimes. The question is, as the package may have come to you,
Right.
the animal control package, would you have supported it or opposed it?
As it to come the entire package, I would have posted.